The podcast that you're about to listen to does not care about your emotions, your hypersensitivity, or your political correctness. If you wish to continue, then
shut up and sit down.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. You're listening to the Alpha 5 podcast. I'm Frank, a.k.a. PJ, here with my hosts, John, Fabian, and Ray.
it's good, bros.
What's happening?
Well, I said John. Oh,
Yeah.
Y'all wanted the separation. Oh, John and Jonah, my bad. They have the same name, so.
Literally, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
my bad.
Did you call us your hoes?
No,
I'm not your hoe.
nah.
I'm somebody.
Jonah's here too. Jonah's here too. I'm just playing games because what we want to talk to y'all about today is all this funny business and people getting upset with the K word. I don't know what the K word is. It's Karen.
Special K.
Oh man, how could you say that and be so insensitive?
I don't give a fuck.
Nigga, you know Karen ain't no. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's
I get it.
Let's get to it, bro.
Y'all know and probably have seen the memes floating around lately about Karen and Susan and Janet. And it's really been a pretty humorous
The Chad.
thing going on. Yeah, the Chad.
Wait, the Chad's a thing? I didn't see that. I must have missed that.
Yeah, Chad's a thing.
Chad
I think Chad
Brad.
is I think Chad is supposedly that uber alpha male that thinks his shit don't stink.
The jock.
Kind of thing.
Like he's supposed to be
Yeah.
super athletic. He's on the beach with the short shorts playing
Thinks he
volleyball.
deserves every woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
You know,
that guy.
He always has boating shoes on. That guy.
Yeah. Polo shirt.
You know the guy. You know the guy.
Yeah.
I'm going up to the Hamptons. He's like, oh my God.
ain't nothing wrong with some boating shoes, man.
No, ain't
All
nothing
the
wrong with
time.
boating
You
shoes.
see,
Nah.
Not all the time. I'm just saying.
He's got boating shoes
But,
on right now.
you know why he says that?
Right.
It's because he's Dominican, and like
Bruh.
that's like classy Dominican thing to do. Like you put
So
on
we gonna
some nice
We're gonna
pants, some
stereotype.
Yeah.
boating shoes.
Stereotype.
Yeah,
I mean-
that's a stereotype.
That
That's
is
a
true.
stereotype.
It's like, yo, wow. Yeah,
Is
Oh,
it?
please,
All right.
Fabian.
Is it a wrong stereotype?
Puerto
Is it a wrong
Ricans do that
stereotype?
too. I mean, there's a lot of people that do that. Jamaicans do it. Guyanese people do it. Like West Indian people do it. It's a Caribbean thing.
You know who don't do that?
But was
Black
my statement
Americans.
wrong?
that is true.
Lies.
Yes.
My statement was not wrong. If you just said it's a Caribbean thing, thanks.
Yeah, they
It's
jumped
not,
on that
it's not
boating
just
shoe shit
Dominican
real
people
quick.
that do that shit.
Caribbean
jumped on
people
the-
in general is what he's saying.
I see a lot of Dominicanos.
Haitians always got holes in their shirt. They wear the net shirts and shit like
It's-
that. Just very flavorful people, man.
This whole Karen shit going on made me wonder. What do y'all think about the meaning of a name? Like,
I think
I know exactly.
That-
If we're referring to that, I know exactly what's implying. If that's the question.
Well, not
mean,
necessarily. I don't think
okay.
necessarily talking about the Karen part, just in names in general.
general?
Like what kind of
yeah,
weight they carry.
in a general sense. Like, do you think that they influence the future of a person
Yep.
or
I
people's
think
perceptions?
I think
Like-
I think it influences your personality
Yep.
like directly. Like your name, like your personality and your name go hand in hand.
Agreed.
I'm a firm believer.
But how
So-
how do you figure that out? Like, how do you know, like, as a young kid, what that means? You know,
Yeah.
how do you know what Jonathan lives? What you have to do to live up to the name Jonathan?
It's not
You know
that
what
what
I'm
you have to. It's not what you have to do per se. It's more of what you see throughout life with people with certain names, and you kind of attach certain attributes and things with certain people, and it's like, you know, it's just a lot into a name. Like names aren't accidents. You know what I mean? I don't
No,
believe.
they're not accidents. Yeah, they're planned out.
Right, they come from somewhere, and I just feel like
Except
they have.
those messed up, unless those messed up jokes about the Chinese names.
Share.
I want to know a messed up joke about a Chinese name.
I want to hear this.
Oh man, No, you never heard those jokes that people do on Chinese names? Like, they just gotta throw some pots and pangs to see how it ends up. Like pong.
Never heard that, but that is so not funny. Not funny. It's so not funny.
First time.
That was a first for me, bro.
Oh,
shit.
shit.
Yeah.
Is it wrong that I get it though?
I get it.
so do
I
I.
get it. It's not wrong.
That's why I'm laughing, really.
I
That's
don't know,
fucked
man.
up.
Those kind of jokes only come from certain places, though.
They- Like,
yeah.
Yo,
I can agree with you, John, but like I'm torn on it, right? Because like I've always had the mind, for example, that when I have a son, if I have a son, that I wanted to name him after me, right?
Mhm.
Because of exactly what you're saying. Like I feel like I'm a pretty dope dude. I'm a junior. Feel like my dad's a pretty dope dude, right? He's an OG. So like a third is gonna be like better. You know what I mean?
It's just more frank.
Yeah, like and like you can't go wrong, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But you know, at the same time, then my wife is like, no, he needs to have his own identity and this, and that. I'm like, well, he'll make his own identity and take some of the goodness that comes with me as well. Like,
It's the same. You're still
why?
he's still
Why?
his
Why?
own
It's not
person.
mutually exclusive, one or the other.
Right.
Like, I'm not my dad,
I agree with you, PJ.
but I have some dope attributes of my dad.
Right.
So,
I mean, I have a junior, and that was a big thing for me. My brothers mostly have all juniors. Like, you just want a replica, and there's some ego in it too. But I think I'm dope. Like, I don't hate my name. There's nothing wrong, and my name is not going to be detrimental in my future. Like, most likely, if you don't see me and you see my name written down on a piece of paper, you're going to assume that I'm not a black person. I could be anything else. You're going to like Jonathan. Like,
if it's just your first name, the moment you
Well,
throw your last name into that, there's
not
no better.
necessarily, because Harvey.
No.
There's a director, not Harvey Weinstein. There's a Harvey Winston. There's like a lot of Winstons that aren't black.
The only
It's actually
other
a white
Winstons
name.
I've ever been privy to, which really not, was
The
like
cigarette
Winston as a
company, too.
first name.
Yeah, I've seen that too, and it always weirded me out. But if you look at the
And it-
historical name, it's from like
It's always been
England.
from like a white guy. Like
Yeah, it's
Winston was always like a white, like Winston Churchill, for example.
Well, I'm under the impression that in North Carolina, where my dad is from, a long time ago, their master's name was Winston, because that's
Okay.
a white name, and and so that's kind of, you give your slaves your last name, so
Mhm.
that's where we got it from.
Jonah, aren't you like
I was just about to get to it.
harshly opposed to
To what?
naming your kid after you?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm 100% opposed to that.
You got such a dope ass name, nigga.
Nah, bro, because I kind of agree with your wife, man. I feel like, one, he should have his own name, his own lifestyle, like his own him. I don't want him to be a junior, because I don't want him to piggyback off of me, if that makes sense. To the flip side, though, here's a catch to something I've always said that you guys might probably get a kick out of this. I'm a very firm believer in the Bible quote saying that there's life and death in the power of the tongue. Firm believer in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that by choosing the child's, not by choosing the name.
What do you think that means, by the way? Let's get into, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to know too.
So by choosing the name, and obviously knowing what the definition of the name is, you're ultimately setting up this person for greatness. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so it's like, for example, I chose my son's name not because his name is Leonidas, not because of the movie 300, but because of what King Leonidas stood for, right?
Mhm.
And how he was a king who led his people to freedom and all that stuff, right? And also because I like Greek mythology. So the name in itself is a powerful name. It's a strong name. So I wanted him to come to this earth already with that, like, yo, I'm a strong person. Like, this is who I am.
With
You know
that
what
king
Do you
vibe.
feel he's expressing those characteristics as a child right now?
Oh yeah,
with
hell
you?
yeah, 100%, 100%.
Okay, I dig it.
So
I mean,
what do you think that Bible verse or quote means though. This what was it again?
There's
Life and death
life
in
and
the
death in
power
the
of the
power
tongue.
of the tongue.
What do you think that means?
I mean, exactly what it says. Like what you're saying, you can either give life to whatever it may be, right? Let's say you're in your car and you're just like, God damn, this fucking car is always breaking down on me. This fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
You now are speaking death to your car. Like, it's supposed to be a piece
You
of
putting
shit.
that vibes out
You're,
there.
right. So,
It's like the law of attraction.
Listen, anybody with a
Essentially, exactly.
sibling knows that quote is real. Like, how many times can a sibling tell on your parent on you that you did something, truth or
That's
not?
Proverbs 18:21. Just so anybody who's
You know what I'm
listening
saying?
wants to know.
Mhm.
And then they get your ass in trouble.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
and any sibling has been through
Yep.
that at some point in that relationship. Oh, so and so did this, what, and gets beat, and it's not even true.
That's true. That's true. My mom.
I feel yeah.
No, go ahead. No, I was gonna say my mom named me and my brother David. If you know anything about the Bible,
A
Mhm.
lot.
David and Jonathan were best friends
Mhm.
in the Bible, and so that was her thinking along the line. If you don't know anything, Jonathan pretty much sacrificed himself towards the end of their story for David. David went to be king, and Saul's trying to
Yeah.
murder. Whole thing, you know what I mean? But I kind of took
he
on that.
birthed Solomon.
Right, and I kind of took on that unknowingly, but I feel like I'm just as loyal as the Jonathan in the Bible, and I don't know if that's because of my name or that's just who I
Interesting.
am.
That's cool.
Personally, my personal opinion is I believe that to be true. Like you are that because your mother named you with that intent. So she
Okay.
spoke that into existence. You follow what I'm saying? Like she literally spoke life to that.
But by the way, guys,
That's pretty crazy.
I forgot to tell y'all Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy
It's a little
Mayo
bit too late for that,
Cinco.
man.
Y'all
My shit
can't-
empty.
Damn, niggas, you fucking lush. Happy Cinco de Mayo,
Yo.
fellas. You can't even see my drink because this fucking thing consumed.
Happy
I
Mayo
got coke.
Cinco. I have a bottle of tequila here, drinking it straight
Water.
like a real man. Yeah, right.
But-
Whew.
Yeah.
Water don't make that face.
Well, what are your thoughts, Fabian and Ray, on the whole influence of a person's future and what their name could mean?
I
Oh,
was
there you
almost
go.
a junior. But my dad was like, nah, let's not do that to this kid. So I got a similar, like a very close name to it, the English version or the Germanic version of that comes to be Raymond. But
What
I
was
do
it?
believe
What
the
was your
same
dad's
thing.
name?
Ramon.
Ramon. Okay.
Oh, like Razor. Okay. I dig it.
Yeah, like Razor, exactly. And that's kind of where I got Razor from, because I used to really like Razor Ramon.
Dude, one of my top 5 wrestlers. We need to have a discussion about these things, right? We have a
Chico.
lot in common, man. That ladder match was the best of all time. WrestleMania 10. Look it up if you want to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, I do believe that a name carries a lot, and it's self-fulfilling for the child without knowing it, or they know it. And I do feel like sometimes we have to live to it. We have to realize that we're not living to that name sometimes. We might get smacked from who knows which way, but yeah, I
But
do believe that.
What happens then when people name their kid like Apple and North?
Their life is ruined.
I feel
Unless
like
you're-
that person, maybe that person that gave them the name doesn't believe that. Maybe they don't believe that that child has, to live up to that name or anything like that, or there's anything, behind the meaning of it. Or they do.
I don't know. I feel like when so for example, somebody like, let's say, I think Kanye named their child North, right? Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
I in that sense, I kind of feel like they just named their child that name just so they can be unique and not like everyone else.
Like to be cute. I think Kanye did it to be cute, and like
I don't think there was really thought put into that.
There
name.
was. So he says,
I don't know.
see, that has something to do with, because he's from the north side of Chicago, and then there's a country in Africa, I think, called Kanye, and something about the north of that country too. and then her, last name is West. You don't control that.
And also compass is north.
Isn't it
You want to stay
Kenya?
true north,
Yeah. What you say, Jonah?
Isn't it Kenya? Isn't Kenya? Now?
There's some, but yeah, there's some other. There's Kenya, and then there's some other place. I think I
Probably
had
something like town or province or something.
Yeah, it was some shit like that, and so that's
Within
kind of
a
how he
country.
came. up with it.
Kanye, Botswana.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
A town
Botswana.
in southern Botswana,
Mm-hmm.
located in the southwest of the capital.
Yep.
Yo,
So it was
Ray's
something
up quick on the reference, yo.
This is man. He got
The
that
capital
crump
of
movie.
Botswana is Gaborone or Gaborone. I don't
Yeah.
know how to say
Well,
it.
What do you think, Fabe? Like,
Um,
I never knew a Fabian until I met you. Since then, I've met a couple, but I never knew a Fabian until I met you, and I thought that shit
Yeah.
was like weird at first.
It's still
and
kind of
listen,
weird.
there's one and only. there's
It's
only
unique
one.
as fuck.
There's
If
only
you want- if
there only can be one. That's it. And,
If you want your kid to
I-
stand out, you do some shit like that.
Yeah, and you know what? I see it. Like when I was younger, I'd probably say, hey, you know what? My name's pretty cool. I think I could name my kid after that. Because I can't think of a name. Because the way I see it, I actually feel like a name is gonna hold weight for the rest of your life. You're gonna take that with you till you die. Like that's. I mean, obviously they could change the name, but I think it's more important. Like I tossed around with the idea in my head, like, damn, I'm gonna name my kid like just now. Like, has anybody ever done that? Or is I just know like before you
Well,
even
Yeah.
got married, like, thought about it?
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna name your future kid? I'm like, shit. I mean, I don't know. And I thought about it, and over the years, I started thinking less and less of naming them after me. Even though my name is unique, and I wanted to be a little unique, but nothing too crazy. For that same premise, like I wanted the kid to have his own identity, because I feel like it's a little self-serving to do that without saying much. Like I mean, I don't want to. I can't even say really egotistical. Maybe it's a little bit of ego, but like.
Nah, it is because I mean,
I try not to be that way because it's very easy to be that way, especially with my sign and all.
I think
that stuff.
egotistical is doing it twice, man.
no,
It's
you know why I say that? You know why I
Hey,
say
why-
that is a little egotistical? Because, like, when I've had this discussion with my wife, she's like, "Oh, well, name him. You can name him that, and then just give him a middle name." That was like the middle ground that she was coming up with after like a lot of back and forth, and like I still wasn't okay with it because like
you don't have a middle.
Well, right? Because I don't like. No, the kid can't be the third. Then it's not the same.
Yeah.
Or she's like, well, give him or give them your middle name, but it's still not the same. I want like you said, John, like I want my clone. I want a mini better version of me. That's how I look at it. Like the kid would be a better version of me.
That's what I did.
The
That's
kid's
how I
naturally
looked at
going to
it.
take bits and pieces of me, right? All kids do that of their parents, period. Doesn't matter what their name is. They take pieces of their parents and then be a better version, right? So eventually, if the cycle was to continue, right, you just have like the best fucking Frank in the world.
Right.
some point.
Eventually, on a long
I feel
enough
like it's
timeline.
difficult to improve upon, but you know what?
Nah, I know. I get that same
That's
feeling.
just
How is this
taking the
nigga
theory
ever
of
gonna top
evolution
me?
into your- Yeah.
No, but I mean,
So like
Yeah,
I
so
see, like
it
I see
is
it
there is some ego to it.
But it's a legacy thing, and that's what humanity. That's what separates us, man. Otherwise, we're just fucking bees that fuck and just make sure that our shit keeps going. But we putting up monuments to people for a reason. You know what I mean? We're all about legacy. That's part of humanity. Like we're big on like historical and stuff like that. So yeah, not everybody has to do it, but I'm not going to look at somebody that decides to do that.
I just think that like, well, that's why I feel like the last name is there for, and that holds more like pride or
last name
than the
carries a lot
first
more
name.
for sure.
So
Yeah,
the
but
first
I
name
didn't
got your
want that.
personality, and then the last name, that's what you stand for.
That's what the
That
legacy.
is-
That's what the
you.
legacy is at.
That's
Yeah, but
what
I'm not proud of everybody with my motherfucking last name. So not
I know,
everybody,
you come
you
from
know what I'm
different
saying?
situations, yeah.
Well, no, just
Yeah.
I don't think anybody everywhere is proud of anybody with their last name, especially literally all of y'all, because y'all have Spanish last names. So like everybody in the world also has your last name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
Can I just put this out there
Dude.
too?
It's not
Ray
too many Estradas.
Yeah, go ahead.
Spanish people need to stop with all the weird shit and the weird names.
Like,
And
Why do they need to stop, bro?
it's unnecessary. And the
What's a
18
weird name?
names.
give me an example.
He's saying
Like,
the extension. I know what he's talking about.
Cardi's name is weird as hell. Belcalis Almanzar or some shit like that.
What? That's a good one.
Why is that weird?
Because it's not a normal name.
It's a lot. It's just a lot. And then Spanish people have this thing with putting like 4 last names along with it.
Nah, I don't know. I don't think I could agree with all of that.
You don't have to agree. This is my opinion.
I do agree with PJ. It's a little excessive. I mean, you have your main last name and your first last name.
I think that's more egotistical than anything, than naming your child after your. If you're so egotistical to sit there and give all your child these crazy ass names for your own want for them to be so unique that you're going to do all this to your, it's like piercing your baby's ears. Like, how fucking selfish can you be? How dare you put a hole in a baby that doesn't have a choice in it?
Part of me understands that it's a cultural thing. Don't get me wrong, but like.
I'm gonna take that one, John.
Some of this stuff is like,
how you dare you?
Wild. I don't like.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, it just don't
Keep
work.
That argument
for me.
Wait, you think you're supposed to be piercing infants?
No.
I see that shit and I lose my fucking mind. Like, how dare you?
That's not for you. That's for you to show off your kid, and it's not. Maybe they didn't want the ears pierced. Exactly what it's for. Same thing with the names and stuff like that. You want to have a crazy name? Let's be real here. You're doing it because you want to seem unique, so you're doing it. It's self-serving, and you're being selfish, and you want to have your kid stand out. So you want to do all types of things to make them look best and keeping up the Joneses, keeping up the other kids on the block and stuff like that. You want to be
different.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I will channel my inner Ray and say, well, who's to say that their name's weird? That's just weird to you.
No, some names is weird. Like, why?
Nah.
Okay, Ray,
I can't say I'd agree to that, man, because if you look back to, like, and I hate to bring black people into this, but if you go back to like the originals, like like Africans, and the way they named their children, their names have meaning. Like, even though to us it sounds weird as shit, and it might be some really long craziness, there's a meaning to that name. Like, they named them that because the meaning of their name.
Yo, I agree, but that's talking about like Africa. We're talking about like American Africa.
Yeah, don't name me Boo. I don't want to be that. I want to be.
Well,
give me the white people name. Like,
because
it is an American viewpoint that I'm taking. I realize that as the conversation goes on.
But I'm not from there, so you giving me a name from someplace that I don't know what the fuck that mean. At least, in Hebrew, that's where my name comes from. So at least somebody understand this shit over here. Don't give me
even so, John. I would appreciate that. To me, in my opinion, I would appreciate somebody named after whatever there is, their native language. That somebody just named like Latwanda, LaFwanda, Keisha, something American, wannabe African. I'd rather you do it from the country that you originated from.
But that's a whole different discussion, because what the fuck country do we come from?
Hey,
we don't have.
That's all. Now you get into a whole nother shit.
Yeah, but I can't like. All right, what did the Danish they use like? Svetlana and shit like Ivanka is a fucking Russian name, right? Mm-hmm. Like, what do black people ain't got no Ivankas, nigga? We could only take the white people name, English names, and try to spin on it, or just do something totally fucking stupid. There's not a lot of options.
Like,
we can't just start naming we can't just start naming our daughters Maria and shit. Y'all got it good.
Here's some funny shit. Here's some funny shit. I know someone who was named after Chiquita Banana. Like, the mom was going down the aisle, saw like Chiquita, and named the child.
Too. I know she was black.
Named their child, but they just switched a couple of letters out to like not be Chiquita Banana. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But
I'm not gonna say the name, but yeah.
There was a sergeant that I knew that she was black, and she had that first name. She has that first name, Chiquita.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like
black people want to be different so bad.
Yeah.
You just want to be big.
the minorities got some
But I
funky names in
understand
there.
that because you got to look at the historical context behind it. Because, like I said before, which names are you picking? You only got a certain pool of English names that when you say it, somebody else can understand it, right? So what are you choosing from? Like, either, all right, I'm going to name my daughter Becky, or my son Jonathan, or am I going to go here and name him Jamal, or I'm going to name her Shanquisha? Like, I could either do what everybody else is doing, even though that's not really my culture. I don't have no other options, or I just make some shit up. And like everything else, black people improvise. That's how we got.
I know that some people are equating Karen to the N-word.
Disrespectful. You know what's funny is that those same people won't say the N-word they won't say nigga. They'll say Karen is just as bad as the N-word, but they'll say Karen, but not the N-word. So obviously it's not as bad.
Oh, I mean, it would be very hard to equate, hey, the K word is as bad as the N word. Be like, what?
Well, they can't. Well, they
Kansas?
can't even say it in reference. I mean, it's just because I know what you mean, John. It's like by saying that by default, like it's automatically making it less.
Yeah,
but it's because.
But those same people and black people will say nigga and nigger a lot more fluid, right? So maybe that's their their way of holding on to it. They can say Karen.
Please don't feed into call it for what
I'm not bullshit. It is, but I'm just saying you're saying that they won't say the N-word. If they did say the N-word, you would also be up in arms anyway.
My point,
you can't have it both ways.
My point was in saying that is the meme that I saw. It said Karen. It spelled out the word Karen is the equivalent to the N-word. It didn't say nigga. It said the N-word. And what
for like white middle age.
It cannot by definition be the same because you wrote out the word Karen and you did not write out the word nigga. So clearly one word is worse than the other. Stupid.
By the way, I can't stand when people say that on gaming either.
Say what?
They add the ER.
Yeah.
No,
it's so annoying.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's amazing that the balls people get digitally, whether that be on social media or gaming or whatever. Because, these motherfuckers be saying shit that they would never, ever say to you.
Look, Karen is not the same. Just like Chad is not the same. And none of those things, man. I feel like it's just the way people are going to.
It's crazy.
Say whatever it is that they feel like.
The Karens are pieces of shit, though. Like, y'all, they'll be the first one to call somebody.
And not all Karens, obviously.
Not literally Karens, but the same ones as asking to see your manager is the same ones as was calling Colin Kaepernick a nigger. And those are
but some people that need to speak with the manager have legit reasons.
Are you a Karen, Ray? Are you a Ray?
I don't know. I feel like Karen, Ray could be an undercover Karen, but like very specific situations.
You're Roger.
Somebody called me Ralph once. You look like a Ralph.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah, that was.
Oh man,
how do I look like a Ralph?
That's gotta.
Babe, you were gonna say something before?
Yeah, I think what's funny. I feel at first I'm like, that's so ridiculous. How could you even equate that? How can and I've been thinking about it a little bit more.
I feel like you're gonna say butt.
And you know what? I don't think there's a problem with it. I think it's actually pretty funny. But here's the thing: I feel like if you're doing it for one, then you got to do it for all. So if you're saying that this is offensive, because anybody could say any type of name is offensive. Right now, people could, instead of saying the N-word, could start saying Jamal's instead. And eventually, I guarantee you, within a couple of days, that's going to be a problem. Because we know what you're referencing. It's racial. We know what you're referencing.
Valid
not too many. So I feel like it isn't because it is on white folks. So to them, it's like, oh, how can you be offended by anything racial? You're white, So it's so we all of a sudden take that default approach, but to some people, especially if they don't feel that way, they're not that type of person. I don't know.
Well,
I just feel
I just have an announcement for white folks that are upset. Y'all gonna have to hold this L because we using Karen like that. I'm using it.
Listen,
you better not call me a nigga either.
To their defense,
Jonah, you're muted, bro.
Better than saying, saying the word cracker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that.
So it's like
cracker.
You're still doing the same thing. You're just
but the term cracker.
you're making a racially
You're making it racially charged.
Yeah, but the
you make
term
it racially charged. But
the
without
term
doing
cracker
saying
comes
something
from the
offensive.
sound of the whip that it makes when the master cracks it. It cracks.
Yeah.
I know.
Not
that's
not
what
like a cracker being white and frail.
No, it has
No.
always been
Yeah,
about
it's
the
the
crack
cracker.
of the whip. It's about
Okay.
the crack of the whip, and so that's why you call it a
Oh.
cracker. They don't like
And
that.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean,
Fabian has a very legitimate point though, because if people started going around talking about,
Hey, Jose.
all right,
you know,
Jamal,
freaking-
like, yeah, black people gonna start getting their panties in a bunch.
yeah, but Jamal,
I would feel a certain way
nigger.
too about
Karen
it. If
means
everybody started calling me
Karen.
Jose.
There
every
is
10
no
seconds.
there.
Okay,
so you're
Jose. Like what?
You're
No,
substituting.
I'm not saying if they're using it in the term nigger. Like, all right, so for example, like, that just made me feel weird saying it. I said it with the ER, and I didn't feel good.
Right.
I know, man.
You have
so-
have enough melatonin in your body to do it.
Nah, but anyway,
It feels
So,
weird anyway. Yeah.
my
Or
my
melanin.
point is, like,
melanin.
Melatonin.
I've
Yeah, melatonin.
I'm
I've
trying to go to
been-
sleep.
Right.
Use melatonin.
Turkey. All right.
I've been in situations, right, where I will see black women, right, causing a ruckus unnecessarily, similar to Karen's, right, but
Mhm.
being all kinds of loud, trying to draw attention, right,
Mhm.
and being kind of
We call them bonquishes.
ghetto. But see, but what I'm saying though is if white
It's-
people were to start using the term like Shaquita, right, to their other white friends,
Oh man.
right,
Only white people
in
would be up
in
arms.
reference.
Only white women specifically would be up in arms about something so fucking stupid. Like I swear to God, yo,
No,
I've
if
seen.
tides reverse, I think black people would be too.
But it's been reversed. We've been called niggers for eternity. What do you mean? This is now something new for
I'm
white
talking about-
people that they
I'm
don't
talking-
know how to deal with.
I'm
it's
talking about
been this way.
if specific names were used.
I have been called Jamal when people
have?
clearly knew my name is John.
Dang.
I've been called that. What do you mean? I am not up in arms on Facebook no more. There's racist fucks in this world, and it's not. And the Karen is not necessarily used as a racist term. It's used for somebody, a white woman usually, who sits there. Anybody could be a Karen, but yeah, it's a Karen. You think that's not my fault? That's a white name. You want me to name her something different? It's a specific type of person, and it just so happens that Karen is mostly white, but Karens could be Spanish. Karens could be black. They always got the same fucking haircut. It's a Karen. Right? The same way where I was a Jamal, right? I don't get to complain. People call me nigga my whole life, and I don't make Facebook posts about it. Now you get called Karen for a pandemic time, and now it's oh my God.
Has it only been pandemic time?
Yes.
Karen's
No,
been
I've
around
been
for a
using it
while, but
before that.
it's been brought to the forefront like more lately.
They're complaining about it now, and that's what I mean. But it's like, yo, y'all really that bored, Karen? I'm gonna keep using it just because it's pissing so many people off. A flock of Karen is called the privilege. I saw that, and that's the funniest
I
thing.
saw that
had me
shit
dying.
was funny.
It was.
I thought that shit was funny.
And you know what? This is a millennial thing, and we're gonna keep calling the Karens out. Like, stop. White women always want to be oppressed, bro. They want it so bad. Feminism and now this shit. Y'all just want to be fucking oppressed so bad. But you're white women. If you call the police on somebody, the cops was there 5 minutes before you called them. You're like, you have it the best here. What do you mean? Now you oppressed because somebody's calling you? Fuck out of here. Go to Kohl's.
Go to
Go to Kohl's.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Now, mind you, my mom loves shopping at Kohl's, so that's not a fuck. But I would kind of consider my mom a Karen, and she's black. But my mom is one of them people that want to speak to your manager. She Karen.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as nigga. It's not.
Yeah, really.
My wife is Karen,
no,
bro.
No, you know what? It's funny. It is.
Nigga said my
It's-
wife is a Karen.
and he-
Because
And
she
you know
loves
what? Here's
complaining. I get so bad. I'll be like this. Like, please just don't complain to the manager because, we don't like those things. As men, I don't like
Here's the
that.
thing.
Don't draw attention to me here.
Yeah,
I'm
they
going
brought up
outside
my
to wait.
Oh, they brought you the wrong food. Excuse me. His food is not right. Oh my God, please don't do this to me right now. Just eat it.
I said I could eat it. It's gonna be fine.
Nah, man. You got no, man.
Nah,
You got if my
right.
food is not good, bro, I'm complaining.
Yo,
Yo,
you're
but I'm not gonna be a dick about it. I'm not gonna be a dick. I'm like,
Nope.
excuse me, sir, or ma'am.
I don't do that. I don't do that.
There's
I'm
something
be
wrong
super
with this.
passive
Listen.
aggressive and never eat.
You don't do that, man. You all have no spine if you freaking just eat what you're gonna pay for it. You guys are
Ray.
Oh
ridiculous.
shit!
Hey, I'm
I
with
might
you
not
on
pay
that
for
one,
Just
it.
Ray.
channel Brad,
Ray.
bro.
I
I'm
might
with
not
you on
pay
that
for
one.
it.
Yo,
I might
man.
not pay for it, but I'm not gonna complain.
Okay,
I'm
Ralph.
gonna tell them later this is not what I ordered,
Nah, Ray,
Okay.
I'm with you.
and I'm
with you on
not
that,
gonna
Ray.
pay for it, but I'm not gonna complain either.
Nah, fuck
That's-
that.
You got the
No.
right to complain. You're paying for that food. You
Right.
got bloody meat, yo.
No,
You got
this
bloody
week I'm
meat.
paying for the food.
Oh, why?
Well,
Why?
Oh,
you
so
didn't have
that
it-
means you're
What
gonna.
just
You
happened?
had a choice not to go there. Go there. You know what? You don't like the product that they gave you.
It's a place you always go to. It's a place you always go to, Fabian.
Nah,
Oh,
Chili's would never do me
no.
wrong.
You know what? I forgiveness. Okay, shit happens. All right. Can't
Yeah,
be
but you
everything all
gotta
the
say
time.
something. It doesn't mean you're gonna be a dick.
Nah.
If I
nah.
notice a pattern, then I'll say something. If I see it one time, and I'm like,
Thank
oh,
you.
okay,
that is
all right,
not the
you
man
messed
way
up.
to Karen.
All right, well,
I
then
am
put
not gonna
ketchup on it
Karen
this
this shit.
time.
I will be a
All right,
man.
no big
Wow.
deal.
Fuck it the fuck
No,
up and move on with my
No.
day.
Is
you
it
to do
Kevin,
it.
not Karen?
It
Yo,
must be.
you ordered a beef and you got shrimp. You gonna eat the shrimp?
Nah, that's something different.
Come on, guys.
I don't eat seafood.
Nah.
No.
This
Yo,
nigga
Ray,
said I don't
agree
eat
with you,
seafood.
Ray.
That's why. That's why,
Well,
because he
yeah.
doesn't eat seafood.
But if
Not
I
because the
ordered a
order was
burger-
wrong. It's because he doesn't eat
if
seafood.
I ordered a burger and I wanted Monterey Jack cheese and you gave me cheddar, like I am not going to send that
That's
back.
a different story. That's a
Yes,
different
but this
story.
is what
But
I'm
you,
telling you. Karen, aka my wife, would be like, "Excuse me, he ain't get the cheese he want," and I'm like, "Yo, please don't do this to me right now. Like I don't need this kind of attention."
I'm just saying. Ray
no, but
is
she
all
just wants
hype
to
over
take
this
care of you,
shit.
bro. She wants you to feel. She wants you to be happy to get what you actually ordered, bro.
Happiness
No,
is
we
not
get
having the
that.
attention on me. That is the joy I get when nobody pays attention to me in a restaurant. Oh man,
Well, I don't know, man.
Karens.
Yeah,
Anyway, I'm
Call me
confused
Karen,
with
then.
that.
Listen, I got to get back to this thing one thing, and I think this is for everybody to hear because it's going to be an issue in the future, in the short future, and we got to obviously say, okay, what's not okay, right?
no, we don't.
This, right? No,
Yeah,
this is what we've had, all right? The N-word, cracker, honky, beaner, all this stuff. These are all the stuff we can't say in here, right?
Wet
We're like,
bag.
oh, we can't say this because this is not allowed. This will get us fired. This is actually in some cases freaking illegal, you know? So we can't do this. So how can we make racially charged references, right? But that isn't in this cup because this is the no cup, right? So let's go to the next one. So now we got a new batch of racially
Insults.
charged terms. Jamal's, Karen's. Now we can start maybe saying Jose, you know, throw that in
Shaniqua's.
there, right?
Shaniqua.
You know, Shaniqua's.
Jose's there.
But eventually, those are going to be lumped in. And so now are we going to say, shit, now everything is going to be offensive? We're going to go back to that, you know? Or we're going to say, okay, just these we can't do. But you know what? We know what you mean by that, and it's okay. If you're saying Karen, I can say Jamal.
It
Call
must
it a
suck
day.
to be
What if-
anything
what if
other
it
than
would be-
black
You
in
know?
this country because I mean it does suck to be black. But what I mean by that is, like we don't.
Nah,
get-
man, don't believe that, bro.
Nah. What I mean by that is, like we are going to keep saying those words, and even if they're in the no cup, black people don't give a shit about the no cup. Like you understand that floating at the top of that no cup is nigga, right? Like that's
Yeah.
95% of the cup. I don't give a fuck about that cup, nigga. Y'all still gonna use it. So I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I
Y'all
want.
still drinking out of that cup.
Yeah, so
So
you
he gonna
telling
drink
me,
out of
oh,
the Karen fountain.
yeah, I'm getting the hose, the Karen hose, and I'm going like this. I'm doing all of that. Like I don't that word, even if it does eventually become offensive and I can't say it no more, I'm still saying it because y'all still gonna call me nigger in one way or another.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
See, I
It's
mean,
mine.
I don't. That
Yeah.
That is the
Evil-
ultimate taboo word.
evil responses to evil actions will never equate to any kind of good.
They should
I'm just
take
saying, like, if you do things with a malicious heart, like there's never going to be any kind of positivity that comes out of it.
well,
Because,
So, like
listen,
that
they
just
can
becomes a
take their
never-ending
power
cycle.
Then we go
They can take
we
their
go
power
back to life and death in the tongue.
Wait, so if Taylor Swift says Karen in the song, I can sing it though, right?
Wasn't it actually in songs? Oh, Beyonce used
Probably.
it. I
No,
think
she's
Beyonce used it
Becky.
in.
She's Becky.
Oh, she used Becky. All right.
Becky with the long hair.
Damn.
Which
I
she
So
was
just so
talking
we
about
know, the
Becky.
whole
That's the one I've
freaking
used a lot of
verse.
time. That's the one
Life
I've
and
used a
death are in
lot.
the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit, bro.
Mm.
So that's I don't know,
Life
man.
and
That's
death
like
is in the power of the
Yeah,
tongue.
if you really pay attention, like you said, that was Proverbs, right?
yeah,
Is that Proverbs?
18:21.
Listen, if y'all don't even believe in the Bible, if you don't believe in nothing, read the book of Proverbs, and
Yeah,
your
it's a really
mind
good.
will.
It's a, yeah,
It's
it's
Like
wisdom.
it's
a
all
really good
wisdom.
book.
It's
Yeah.
all like life wisdom that even if you don't believe in this
Who
religion,
wrote that?
I don't know. It's
Was
Old
it Solomon?
Testament, though. Yeah, it might
I
have been.
think. I think it was Solomon.
It's in Old Testament, so you know it's good shit. Old Testament is the better.
Was it Solomon?
Story wise?
I think it was
Correct.
Solomon. Yeah.
Read
Well, it was a lot of
Proverbs.
stories. wasn't it?
Really good
That-
stuff.
Yeah,
Last thing
Proverbs is a good
I
book.
wanted to ask y'all before we wrap shit up. Do you think that people automatically jump to conclusions of you based on your name?
Yes.
Like hearing Frank or Fabian, Jonathan, right? John versus Jonah, right? Literally same name, different context.
Mhm.
Raymond versus Ramon. Like,
hmm
do you guys think that that's like a real world thing that goes on?
I think that people look at me. I think y'all look at me in a certain way, not because of my personality and because of my name. Like it is what it is.
No.
Like everybody has that that thing attached to their name.
I feel the same way, yo. My name's Raymond. It's not Ramon.
Yeah, it's Ray. Like you look like a Ray and you act like a Raymond in my mind. Like before I knew you like that, like, oh, this is Ray. Man, he's acting accordingly to what I believe Ray's to be. The only one that fucking throws me off out of all of us is Fabian because I never really met those before.
But his middle name means God is my
It's even worse.
salvation, right?
Yeah, but he don't really use that shit like that.
Isai.
I
know
know,
what I'm
but what if that's what he embodies more than Fabian?
That's also a name that I have not met enough of those people to garner your.
I think I've met like 1.5 SIs, and like Fabian's the one, and I say the half because I'm not sure of the other one.
Yeah, I've never heard that shit before in life. Now you sound like you're doing blood magic. Like that's what it sounds like. So, like I'm a firm believer. Like, yo, your name like is who you are, and I'm gonna look at.
I
you
can attest
like,
that Fabian doesn't do sacrifices to Moloch.
what about Cthulhu?
I definitely go shy away from that shit. Woo, get that shit away from me.
Even last names too. Like again, I'll use the Spanish culture. Like Perez, my last name, right? Rodriguez, Hernandez.
Yeah, but Perez, you know, is Hebrew, bro. You know, Perez is Hebrew.
I had zero idea Perez was Hebrew.
Yeah, Perez is actually one of the kids. I think one of the kids of the 12 tribes.
That's crazy.
For me, anything that ends, I automatically associate anybody's last name that ends in "ez" is Spanish.
Yeah.
I mean,
or an A, well, mostly.
Yeah, Perez was a son of Judah, just so you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Was Judah a good guy? I'm not.
Judah was one of the 12. Is one of the sons of who was it? Jacob, I think.
Jacob. No, Jacob.
Okay, cool.
All of y'all have super like Spanish names, and to me, growing up, all of your names are the same fucking name. Perez, Hernandez, Cabrera, Estrada, Rodriguez. It's all literally the same name. The only one that has a unique name is Ray. I only seen that like 4 times. Ever. And Perez is like.
I feel like I automatically knew that it was Spanish though. Like, I don't know why. Like, I didn't question his background at all.
Yo, and Frank, since we're on this name stuff, which I think is awesome, the book of Ruth lists Perez as being part of the ancestral genealogy of King David.
Yo, my name is dope.
Yo.
Yeah, well, do some history on King David before you finish all of that first. And then, you know what I'm saying?
He's a king. Fuck that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Joffrey,
word. Joffrey was exactly.
Jonathan, yo.
You get that reference now.
Yeah.
I get it.
I'm just saying, bro. Yeah, King David was
all right. Look, do y'all know what your names mean?
Yes.
I know my first name.
All right, I want to throw this out there real quick.
In Hebrew, I know what it means.
Let's end it with this. Tell me if it matches. It's kind of ironic. So Frank is a person who's open, honest, and direct in speech or writing, especially when dealing with unpalatable matters. Does that
I
apply
think
to
I
you?
concur.
Yep.
That applies. I would say that applies.
Okay.
I like that.
Who's next?
I like.
Who's next?
I mean, you could do me and Jonah since we have the same name. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Okay. 2 birds, 1 stone. Which one of you guys gonna give it?
Oh,
I
you
thought
want me
you
to?
were
Oh,
doing it.
yeah, but you're there.
Oh, all right. Okay. Let me enter
You
this
want me-
in.
All
Sorry.
right, let me tell you how to spell my name first.
Shut up.
Exactly.
Oh wait, hold on. I have to put the name for you because what? What? A Jonathan is a cooking apple of redskin variety, first grown in the United States.
Oh,
Did you
man.
know that?
Oh,
Just saying.
man.
Sorry.
No, I did not.
Meaning of the name. It is a Hebrew name. Look at that shit. You were actually right.
I know, and I know what it means.
To give.
Well, it's supposed to be God's gift, but yes,
Oh, so why didn't you just say it if you knew it?
because that's the only part I know. If there's more to it, I would like to hear it. You had a whole fucking soliloquy.
Yo, actually, I got a book of baby names.
There you go. This nigga's prepared. Like, what the fuck are you?
He's a lot more prepared than I am.
This nigga is the Dewey Decimal System. Like, what the fuck?
Let's see, Fabian. Fabian.
Quintus Fabius Maximus.
But it's in Spanish, so it's el cumplidor, the one that the one that, let's see, cumplidor.
Are you
Google
looking up
Translate.
what are you in the Spanish baby name section?
Not, yeah, somebody lent this to me not too long ago.
Yeah, my shit stopped working for John. All it says is to give.
The Achiever.
So yeah, on Google it says from the Hebrew name Yehonatan, because J didn't exist.
Yeah,
right.
Like
there was
recently.
a Y.
Right. Contracted to meaning Yahweh has given, derived from the roots referring to Hebrew God, meaning to give. So, yeah.
And you were, and he was the eldest son of Sal.
It's like, yeah. It's God's gift. So yeah, I'm God's gift, and so is Jonah. There you go. But I was born first.
That's right.
I was God's first gift.
That's right. I actually knew that, by the way, because there was like 4 people in my life that came up to me and was like, "Yo, what's your name?" I'll tell them Jonathan, and they happen to be religious ass people.
DJ found
and they tell me that same shit, yo.
Mm-hmm.
I found it too.
So the name Fabian is a Latin baby name. It's the meaning of Fabian derives from the Roman clan named Fabius, meaning bean grower or bean seller.
Nigga!
Yo, Fabe, you holding on to them beans, man?
Yo!
We twirl out all day.
Them
yo.
empanadas get loaded, bro.
Oh my God!
No wonder why you guys got them crack ass
Talked about the
empanadas,
Roman
yo.
general. Roman Quintus Fabius Maximus was Latin. It stems from that too. Don't forget about that part.
Nah, we'll go with the bean one.
We'll go to Vigo.
That one's more fun.
Raise is all complicated. Raise is from the Old Norman French
Raymond? You put
Raimund.
Raymond?
I put Raymond,
Okay.
which means wise protection. It's also derived from the Germanic Ragenmund, a compound name composed of the elements Ragen, which means advice, judgment, and counsel, and Mund, hand and protection.
Yeah, and this one it says
Ray's got the best name. He wins.
protector and advisor.
And it applies to him too.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah. No, Ray wins the name game. He won.
Oh, so are we naming the loser too?
Well, we know who the loser is.
How about?
I think that's why Ray brought up Fabian's middle name. He's like, yo, let's just skip the first one.
No, I didn't.
Ray knew this shit the whole time, bro.
I didn't even know that about my
Say
middle
nothing
name, too.
about it.
I think we know who lost the game.
Bro.
I think we know who lost the name Olympics.
All right, fellas. Let's end this on
Tomorrow.
our
Next
new
episode.
segment for Genius of the Week. John, take that one away, bro.
Oh man, the geniuses of the week are the Karens. Is what I'm going to say.
Don't mess with geniuses.
Yeah, on a serious note, you people have it's that and the people on the beaches, but it's really most of the Karens. Please, I want y'all to stop comparing yourselves to really oppressed people. It's not that bad. And really it derives from you guys wanting to pretty much open up the world when you're not ready to. You don't have to complain about everything. Karen, stop. You are my geniuses that really believe that Karen is the equivalent of the N-word. So please don't do that anymore, because now you're just gonna be an asshole of the year instead of just a genius of the week, because you guys are leaning towards being assholes. So please, yeah, that's what I got. Thanks. Genius of the week.
All right, fellas, it's about that time. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you tuning in. Remember to catch us on all your streaming platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Remember to check out our gaming channel if you're into that kind of thing, at Alpha 5 Podcast and Alpha 5 Gaming. I'm Frank, aka PJ, here with John, Jonah, Fabian, and Ray. Wishing you a blessed rest of your week. Peace.
Stay safe, everyone.
See ya.
Cheers.